Hello internet, and today's video is going to be a book opinion, those videos in which I tell you my opinion on a book. And today's book is going to be the first in a trilogy, and that is The Accidental Hero by Matt Mullich, and this is a part of the Jack Blank series. So this first book is about a boy named Jack. We meet Jack in this horrible orphanage, and in this orphanage you can't do anything fun, like nothing at all, and he actually hides away these comic books that he reads. He found them, they told him that he had to throw them away. Of course he didn't, he's hiding them. He ends up getting punished because they find it out, and while he's serving his punishment he gets attacked by this crazy robot, and then he ends up finding out that he actually belongs to this place that exists called Imagination. 2 words, Imagination. And Imagination is this island that exists where all the great creative ideas come from, and people come here and they get inspired, and people leave the island to share the inspiration and all the great things from this island. And many of the comic books that Jack grew up reading actually have basis on this island. These are real people that someone has been inspired by. He ends up on this island and he finds out that Imagination, and specifically but Earth as a whole, is the next planet in line to be invaded by this horrible alien race called the Rustovich. And what they can do is that they're like these little mechanical things, and they can latch on to other beings and basically zombify them, like body snatchers. That they're basically that. So like they grab onto other people, and like when you get snatched by one of these Rustovich, you start to transform and zombify and become a Rustovich. Like they infiltrate your brain, and your body is now theirs, and like they start to like decay, so you become like this robot zombie nasty thing. And Jack enters in when they're in a moment of peace. They think the Rustovich are gone, but like they're not really, because no one's ever really gone, right? So he has to deal with like learning at school, because he gets put into like this special school for like gifted kids that exist on Imagination, and he meets 2 other students. He has to deal with like this, there's this old dude, he's this Indian old dude. He's really vague and mysterious, and I just love him because like he tells you, he's like, I'm vague and mysterious and I will only talk in riddles to you, and everyone's like, blah! Where like I loved him because it wasn't like he was trying to manipulate you and try to trick you that he was going to tell you all the answers. He was just like, no, I'm not going to tell you all the answers, you're going to figure it out by yourself. And people will be like, can you tell me? And he's like, nope. He's not even like, I'll tell you when you get older. He's not lying to you. He's like, no. If I feel like you need to know, I might tell you, but I think you need to figure this out by yourself. And I just love that. I loved like Jack's interactions with the different people, but most of all what I loved was this creation of this world Imagination, because this book can't fit into one category, because they have areas where it's AIs and androids. They have a district where it's medieval, where like you can't use magic or like technology. Well, you can't use technology in the medieval category, and they like train in swords and knives and like physical combat. And then there's like a alien district where you meet like all these different aliens, and they're super cool. You have like a city, more like sci-fi district, where like that's where the main hub of advanced human technology exists. And I just loved all of it. I loved seeing like the council members and how each one came from their different district. Like we had ninjas and superheroes existing. We had like like a Doctor Strange Inception sort of place where everything would flip around, and it was called Incognito. We just had all of these really amazing places that you knew existed, that you could see, and you were just like so amazed by. And Jack got to go and see these places, and I was like, Jack, I'm jealous of you. I want to go to Imagination, because that sounds like a pretty cool place. This book actually had like some plot twists. I knew they were coming because I'm a good reader and I know these things, and I was really proud of myself. Like, I don't know if I should be, because this is just a middle grade book, but I was super proud that I predicted what was going to happen. So I wouldn't say this book is overly predictable, but like if you know how to read a book and like pick out little things and try to like put the plot together before you get to the end, you'll definitely have a lot of fun in this book. This book did something that made the chosen one more interesting. It wasn't like the chosen one was the fully good guy, or like everything was perfect, and like they just did something that was something that I don't see often, that made the story so good and so much more fascinating, and just a really interesting read. So characters were great. I liked like the interactions. I just like Jack being confused over things. I like the old dude and like him just being super mysterious, and people like stop being mysterious and him being like, but that's my thing. And I loved him so much. That old dude was like, I would want him for a mentor. I would get so mad and frustrated, but I would love him for a mentor, because he ain't gonna be trying lying to me, and he's gonna tell me he's not gonna tell me things. So I really like that. I like seeing like the school setup. It wasn't the biggest part of the book, but he is like in a class and he's supposed to be learning these things. But I liked how like each different teacher wanted to focus on something else, and kind of like the setup for schools in Imagination and why they're set up the way they are, and like who teaches what and that sort of thing. I thought that was really really great. I like the Rustovich storyline. I mean like, this book has so many elements to it. Like, it can't fit in one genre. I can't say, oh, it's sci-fi only, and I'm like, oh, it's high fantasy only, and oh, it's urban fantasy only. It has so many different elements, and surprisingly enough, all these different elements and them combining together, the idea of superheroes and ninjas and alien species and aliens attacking and a whole mythical place and island, all of these fit together surprisingly well. And so if you really want to see an intriguing book where they take so many genres, stuff them into one book, yet everything still makes sense, even though like you're just like, how does this even make sense? Then read this, because it was so good and it was just so interesting. And I actually wish like more crossover genre books existed that went to this extent, because it was just such a good idea, such a fascinating idea to have aliens exist in the same time period as medieval, and like aliens and ninjas exist in the same time period, and like, you know, all of these super cool things that I love across different genres of books just compiled into one, yet still make a lot of sense, yet still be really amazing. I thought it was really good, so I really loved it. So Accidental Hero is a middle grade book. It's very entertaining. It's very interesting. If you love all types of fiction genres, I would say try this book just to experience what it's like to be in a world where all these genres combine into one interesting conglomeration that is just such a fun read. So my question to you, what I want you guys to comment down below, is what is your favorite fiction genre, and what genre would you like to see that genre crossed with? So like, would you want to see like fantasy and supernatural together, or like stuff like that? What two genres would you like to see crossed together more often and more blatantly in some of your books? If you like what you're seeing here and you want to continue to see more, click all those bunnies down below, and goodbye, internet.